English is just a language and it does not define your knowledge. You don't have to master the language skill, you just have to be really competitive in your technical skill. Yes, we grew up with all these sorts of jargons as and when we grew up in our career. But in reality, if you're comfortable with the English language, then your communication is going to be better. And the better your communication is, the faster you will grow in your career. In this video, let's discuss some of the unusual ways in order to practice and master the English language, plus how to communicate it better. I'm Lakshman and Raman, and in this video, we talk about tech, growth, and money. If you're interested in any of the subjects, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Before we get into the actual video, I just want to take a minute to explain the difference between the language skill and the communication skill. The language skill is just your skill around the language, which encompasses the vocabulary, the grammar, and the diction or the pronunciation. Whereas the communication skill comprises even more on how exactly you communicate using the language. For example, this includes body language, as I've been moving my hands, I've been smiling a little, what kind of eye contact do I have, what kind of clothes I'm wearing. All these things come into picture when it comes to communication skill. So it's not just enough to master the language, but you also have to learn to communicate better using the language. So before you start preparing, I want you to understand the 3 levels of proficiency in the language skill. The first one is the basic skill or the basic level of proficiency, where you can understand the language in terms of reading and writing. The second one is the intermediate proficiency, wherein you can not only just read and write, but you can also speak and converse to some extent in the particular language. The third one is the advanced skill, where you're not just reading and writing, not just conversing, but you have developed the idea of even thinking in that language. Basically, when you have to develop some thoughts, you have the proficiency to think in the English language. When you attain this level, that is where people would call it native level proficiency. Let's see how to navigate all these proficiency levels through some unusual ways. When it comes to learning English, there are some traditional ways like books, videos, online tutorials, coaching centers, etc. But there are some unusual ways which has worked personally for me if you're someone who doesn't like the traditional way. The first and the most favorite one of all is cricket commentary. Growing up in India, I, as everyone else, is a big fan of cricket. And whenever I watch cricket, it used to be, the commentary will always be in English. People like Harsha Bhogle, Sunil Gavaskar, Ravi Shastri, these are the main people who taught me English in my early days. And if you're watching some matches happening in Australia or in West Indies, then there is a good chance you're the only one watching it in your home and you have to keep the TV on mute. But as and when you start watching over a period of time, it just gets boring when you're watching a cricket match in mute. So you slowly start to commentate what is happening. Yes, there was a solid straight drive. Yes, he ducked it well. It was fun, and most of the times I was wrong. But who is there to judge? It just got me familiar with the language and it helped me to overcome the fear of speaking or familiarizing myself with the English language. This was the first unusual way. And trust me, once you gain enough level of proficiency, you would be able to understand even the speech from Michael Hayden and other Aussies. The second unusual way is English sitcoms. Like everyone else, I spent a good amount of my time during my college days watching a lot of English series. Breaking Bad, The Big Bang Theory, Not Friends, Game of Thrones, and quite a lot of others. Now, watching these English sitcoms with subtitles has 2 big advantages. The first one, in sitcoms like these, they use a lot of phrases apart from the regular words, which helps you to understand the second level or which helps you in conversing better when you're using the English language. The second thing is, to some extent, you can also understand the culture which is happening in other countries and how language plays a role around that particular culture. For example, often in episodes, you would see a starking difference between European English and American English culturally as well as at a language level. So if you haven't started watching any of the English sitcoms, try starting with The Big Bang Theory. Of course, it's not easy, but still, ignore the science part and you will have a lot of fun while watching it with the subtitles. You also get to learn a bit as well. Third unusual way is movies. Yes, Now, I didn't watch a lot of movies to learn English, but I did watch quite a few movies in Hindi in order to learn Hindi. If you're starting with movies, I would suggest watching some casual movies with the subtitles on, as always in the initial days, because we don't want to get into the biblical terms and, very complex words right at the beginning. Some easy breezy casual movies will be a good place to start. A pro tip here is to start also with animated movies, because they take some extra effort to make sure that the words used in these movies are easy to understand for children. And if you're someone like me who wants to start at an early stage, then try with the animated movies at the early stage. A few of my favorites here are Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, and there is a golden classic called Dunstan Checks In. Check it out. The fourth and final unusual way I have for you today is YouTube. Of course. See, once you start following a creator or a particular domain in YouTube for a long period of time, you get familiar with the jargons used in the industry. For example, this channel, we talk a lot about marketing and productivity, right? So there is always something about SEO, email, personal branding, LinkedIn, and all these stuff. And whenever you start listening to these things, it just gets easy for you to understand the context. Even though you don't understand the literal meaning of the sentence or every word which is being pronounced, you still get a glimpse of, okay, this is exactly what this guy is saying. And similarly for me, it was the same with Hindi videos as well. I used to watch a lot of tech videos in Hindi, and I just got familiar with some of the words which they use, like काफी अच्छा है, बहुत बढ़िया, ये कुछ मुश्किल है यार. Not bad, right? But hey, this makes learning a lot of fun. See, I had an English teacher back in the day while I was preparing for entrance exam who used to use this word, use the sentence in every class, that the objective of the entire session which we are having today is to have fun. If you manage to learn a thing or two out of it, then that's going to be your bonus. I formulated these 4 unusual ways where it's important that you have some good fun while doing these activities, but at the end of the day, you are left with a learning or two. I think we have covered some interesting things in the video. Now, quickly to summarize, English is a language skill. You still have to master how to communicate it better. If you want another video on it, let me know. I'll definitely make it for you. The second one is you have 3 levels of proficiency: basic, intermediate, and native. Just assess yourself which level of proficiency you are in and work accordingly. And of course, the 4 unusual ways to learn this is cricket, movies, English sitcoms, and YouTube. If you guys have any other unusual way which you have tried and worked for you, then please do let me know in the comments. Others can also benefit from it. See you guys in another video, and don't forget to subscribe. Alright, we've just crossed 500 subscribers, so big thanks to all of you for that. It really motivates me to make more videos like this. So just go ahead and subscribe if you're here for the first time, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Cheers.